Morning. Uh, it's me again, Mr. Santibanez. It's this video is for period 7, day B. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd. Don't forget to sign in every single day you have science, so I can give you points for that. All right. So do this first. After you do this, um, we'll go over your work for today. If you go onto the science website, and let's go there right now, we look for period 7, week 2. And let's review the objectives for the day, which should be coming up in a minute now. So yesterday, this is what you did: an introduction to classification, your homework and classification. Many of you did great. I didn't get any questions, so I'm assuming that you did understand what's going on with the homework. All right, but today you have two things. You're going to be practicing how to use dichotonomous keys, something we use to classify living things. In this case, we're not classifying living things because it's practice. We'll be classifying some objects, some aliens, smiley faces. Once again, it's just practice. And at the end, for homework, you will be creating your own dichotomous key using household items, shoes, different pens, maybe. All right. But I have an instruction for that. So this is what we're doing today. The total amount of points is 30, so it's quite a lot for one day. Do not miss anything, and please let me know if you have any questions. So let's begin. Oh, by the way, don't forget, as soon as I'm done doing this video, it will be posted as activity 3 and 4 right under these videos here. All right, let's start. So I go on to Google Classroom, click on classwork, and I can see your work for today. You'll see this all about the autonomous keys. It's something I did a couple of years ago. I added some other stuff so you can utilize the whole hour for science. All right, here we go. You don't need to write your name. Your name will appear right here as an assignment. So there are, I would say there are three parts to, to this work. Part one would be looking at this link. And once it's done loading, I'll be able to click on that link. The internet is a little bit slow. There you go. Now it's moving a little bit faster. As always, don't forget to send me your missing work whenever you can. Send me an email. Let me know, Mr. Santibanez, I just finished this. Can I get a grade? And I'll do it whenever I read it. All right, I think it's done. So if I click on this link, you don't have to answer any questions, but please make sure to read this. I'll go over this with you right now. Taxonomy. If you remember, taxonomy is the science of classifying living things. Where do things belong in nature? Where do we belong? How are things alike? What do we share with other living things? Okay, there's a pretty good presentation here on taxonomy as well. If you want to look at that, levels of why do we classify? Because there's just too many things. There are 7 levels of classification. Don't forget that once we classify a living thing, we use the last 2 sections for the scientific name, the genus and the species, and we write it in italics. Okay? Here's one example: Felis concolor, Ursus arctos, Homo sapiens, Panthera leo, Panthera tigris. Okay? You remember this from yesterday, the 7 levels of classification from kingdom to genus and species. Here we go. We use those 2 for the scientific name. Here are some examples. Once again, human being, a cougar, a tiger, a duck. We may all belong to the same kingdom. We may all belong to the same phylum. 3 of us belong to the same class. these two guys right here belong to the same order, then these two guys belong to the same family, and it gets more and more specific until we get to the last two. And the last two are the genus and the species for the scientific name. All right? And that's what we're looking for. So how can we get this? Is there any way to memorize all the phylums and classes in order to know where living things belong? No, you don't have to memorize any of this. Instead, we use a dichotomous key, all right, to do that. And it's just a series of questions, yes or no, to see where things belong. And they may belong in any of these six kingdoms. And those kingdoms, once again, have phylums and classes and families until we get to the living things. All right. Um, here's a very easy dichotomous key. Let me make this a little bit smaller. And the purpose of this is to find the scientific name um, of these creatures. For example, creature A, it has a green colored body, has purple body. That seems green to me. Go to number two. Has four legs, has eight legs. One, two, three, four. It has four legs. Go to number three. Has a tail, does not have a tail. No tail. Guess what? The name of creature A, the scientific name, Dirus magnus. All right. We're not going to do this practice. Let me move on to the real thing you're going to do. Once again, this is good reading for understanding taxonomy a little bit more. Toodaloo. Here we go. Practice number one. And I did the first one already for these guys. I did the first one for your second practice. And I did the first one for your third practice. And that's going to take you a little bit of time. But let me go over on how I did this. Okay. Once again, I click on the link. The link will give me the key. I didn't write a key on any of this. It will be too much. This is just the answer sheet. So if I go on the key, I can do the following. Have these guys right here in half the page. Have the key on the other half. And that will help me out. Okay, so how did I do A on my first answer? Well, I just read the questions, yes or no, and where to go. So here it says norms belong to a genus normal. That's why it will be normal for all of them. And I need to find the species to get a scientific name, genus and species, two names, binomial nomenclature. All right, so for A, has pointy ears, go to 3. Has rounded ears, go to 2. Let me make this a bit smaller. There you go. It has pointy ears. So now that it has pointy ears, I'm going to number 3. Boom, boom, boom. Now in number 3, it says ears pointed upward, ears pointed downward. Ears here are pointing upward. So I go to number 5. Boom. Engages in waving behavior, does not engage in waving behavior. I look at this, there's no waving behavior. I go on to number 6. 6 has hair and head, does not, has no hair and head. I look at this, oh, there's some hair, blonde kind of. So yes, there's head. And the species is Viverlus. Viverlus. So guess what? Normal Viverlus. Okay? So you do that for all of these creatures right there. Now I'm reading it right now. That's why it seems that it would take long. When you do this, that will take you about 5 minutes. Let me show you the second example. I'll copy just the page, paste, enter. So how did I do this one? It will take me once again to the key. And here we go. That's the dichotomous key. Super easy. I look at the picture. Question number one. Teeth visible. Can I see the teeth? Yes. Go to number two. Has wide and toothy smile. It's not smiling. I look at that. That's not a smile. It's not smiling. Go to number three. I go on to number three. Visibly crying and frowning. Frowning like being upset or angry. I look at the picture. It's not frowning. It's visibly crying. Because of that, I know the scientific name, which is Smilus traumaticus. And boom, I take that there. All right, follow the questions. The third one will take you a little bit of time, and you have to be more perceptive. Oh, great question, Mr. Santibanez. Are you checking all the names? Of course, I'm checking all the names. All right, I gotta make sure that you understand this. Okay, so please do it well. Don't write anything. Just to write it. Get the correct answer. All right, here we go. And this will give me the dichotomous key for these aliens. Now, it's a little bit. Let me move you there. There you go. All right, so a few questions here. I'll make it a bit bigger. I can always scroll up and down so you can see what I'm doing. Excellent. Okay, for the first guy right here, the creature has a large, wide head. The creature has a small, narrow head. That's large and that's narrow. Because it's narrow, I go to 11. Boom, 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 boom. Question 11. The creature has no antenna. The creature has antenna. Oh, antennas, yes. Go to 14. Boom, 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 boom. The creature has two eyes. The creature has one eye. One and two. Two eyes. So I go on to 15. The creature has a mouth. The creature has no mouth. And that seems to have to be a mouth. So has mouth. Go to 16. I go to 16. There are spikes on the left leg. There are no spikes at all. All right, I see that this guy has spikes on his left leg. So his name is Norus porus. And that's what I copied there. Okay, so the exercises will take you a little bit of time, but it will show me that you understand how to use a dichotomous key. All right, for the last part, once you finish this, instructions on how to create your own key, meaning choose 5 to 10 objects, whatever you have at home. You make the key just like this, and I'm gonna see if it matches. Can I follow a yes or no questions to see what kind of objects you have at home? Here's a pretty good sample video on how to do that. And okay, so don't forget to do this today. And let's look at this video now.
Hey guys, it's Miss Wolf.
Oh, look.
And today I'm going to show you
She's doing the same thing I'm doing. All right. So,
make a dichotomous key. A dichotomous key is a tool.
Excuse me. All right. Don't forget, you can always click CC to change the language if you want to. You don't have to though. And there you go. Now it's taking a little bit longer. Great. Okay. So anyway, I'm not going to show the rest. Look at that video. It shows you exactly what to do step by step. There you go. Step 1, step 2 to classify or create a dichotomous key. In this case, this lady chose shoes at home. How can you classify these shoes? All right. So create your own. Try not to use shoes. All right. Just try to invent whatever other objects you can classify. Okay. As always, just let me know if you have any questions. Email me. I'm also in the chat from Google. A few students are doing that as well. Okay. All right, kids. Good luck and toodaloo.